I think it's important to clear up this question of our comparative economic performance, actually. So we calculate GDP in a different way to pretty much every other country, something that the Office for National Statistics and the Bank of England have pointed out. Now, if you correct for that difference or look at it in a more comparable way, nominal GDP, what you find is our performance is actually very much in line with all our international peers.
Though, I've looked at
it's a little bit better than places like Canada, Italy, Spain, and Germany when I looked at it. But it's definitely in line to slightly better. And actually, our employment performance, if you look at unemployment or the change in employment, is again better than most of our international peers.
So, but is there much to celebrate in 2020's numbers when you look at them?
No. What the numbers show is that our economy suffered a significant shock last year, and whilst there was some resilience in winter, what's clear is that right now many families, many businesses are experiencing hardship, and that's why it's right that we've provided the comprehensive support that we have through our plan for jobs, and we'll be setting out the next stage of that at budget in early March.
And when you look back at the kind of interventions you made last year, is there anything that you think, well, we could have done it a little bit differently to have more of an impact, to get the economy going a bit more?
Well, I think you could always second-guess yourself, but I think it's important that we respond to the situation as we find it. Of course, we're making decisions in the face of uncertainty, but I think, But do you
know what I mean? Any regrets that might feed into your decision-making now that you're coming out towards this budget?
I think the key thing is to make sure that we have a sense of priorities, and my priority has always been to try and protect as many people's jobs as possible. That was the priority at the start. It remains my priority now, and I think that is the right priority to have as we think about the next phase of the pandemic and how our economy recovers through it.
And you think that you've got that balance right, do you?
Well, I mean, people leave that for other people to judge, but with interventions like the furlough scheme, which we were able to put together at a short period of time, and our support for those who are self-employed, all of that has helped protect millions of people's jobs. And we know from the data that has helped. Unemployment, whilst it is obviously rising and many people have lost their jobs, is lower than many people forecast, in part because of the interventions that we've put in place. I think most people have acknowledged that support has lowered unemployment relative to what it otherwise would have been, limited the number of business failures, but of course, many people are suffering hardship, haven't lost sight of that, and we will keep providing that support.
And looking, at the state of the economy now, a lot of businesses, a lot of households are just wondering, is life ever going to return to normal? So what's your message to them?
No, I, of course, understands people's anxiety and frustration about everything, but I think what people would want is for this to hopefully be the last lockdown, and we want to make...
Do you feel good about that?
What I do feel very good about is the vaccine rollout, and I pay enormous tribute to everyone who's been involved with that. It's a huge national effort, and that gives us reasons for cautious optimism. So what the Prime Minister and I are now doing, and I think what people want us to do, is to be careful and cautious, look at all the data that we're getting in, base our decisions on that evidence, and the Prime Minister will set out that roadmap of the week of February the 22nd.
But do you understand that the frustration, I think, that a lot of businesses and households are feeling? Because, they want to plan, they want to know what to do with their lives, and at the moment, a lot of people just feel like they're in limbo.
Yeah, I absolutely understand that frustration. It is a time of uncertainty, but what I would tell people is certainly on the economic side, our support runs all the way through to spring, furlough, for example, to the end of April, and we'll have a budget early in March to set out the next phase of economic support to provide people with that reassurance and certainty, and that will follow from the Prime Minister's roadmap the week before.
And I know that you're not going to give away the details of what's in that budget, but can you just give us a sense of what the broad theme is going to be?
Well, as we've been discussing, my priority throughout this crisis has always been to try and protect as many people's jobs as possible through this very difficult period. That will remain my overriding economic priority.
It's not about kind of raising taxes, it's not about trying to balance the books right now,
Well, I think public finances are important, and we've only been able to provide the support that we have because of a strong economy and strong public finances coming into this. And I want to make sure that whenever the next shock hits the country, that we can also respond in the same way. That will require our public finances to be put back in a strong and sustainable position. And I've said I will always be honest and upfront with people about what exactly that means.